Good Friday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. It's another cold morning, but nothing like what it's been earlier in the week. We're seeing some gradual improvement, and that's why I'm going to actually be making a little bit of a change by 2 degrees in the high temperature today. We're right now 31 degrees. The increase of clouds and even some snowflakes, some stray flurries may be found today. We're going to highlight that here in a moment. But for those of you that might be joining us live, and there's a good number of you that are, we're in the 30s and even 20s. 31 is the current temperature in Knoxville, with a feels-like temperature, I believe, 25. So it actually feels 6 degrees cooler with that 6-mile-an-hour wind. But if you look at Oak Ridge, they're at 28. They're 27 in Maryville, 25 in Crossville, and some of the colder numbers appear to be around Jonesville at 19 and Bell County, Kentucky at 20. If you're on the call, just want to say good morning to you. It is Friday. Hopefully it's a feel-good Friday. I think a lot of folks who love NFL, this is their weekend of all weekends because it's not the Super Bowl, but it's the 2 games that lead up to the Super Bowl. I'm excited about my Philadelphia Eagles. Good morning, says Steve Stone. He's got his smiley face and sunshine. Fred is on here too. Good morning. Heat wave. Yeah, 28 degrees probably feels pretty good because we did have a low of 8. Low of 8 just a few mornings ago. Fred, thank you for that comment. If you've got a note, please let me know. I'll do my best to magnify your voice and put you on the screen. I can do that. And if you get real creative, your little picture at the bottom right can get bigger if you do a nice close-up. Put a close-up on there, and we'll get you on the screen. It's 29 degrees, it appears, in Newport, but temperatures are kind of all over the map at this particular time. One thing to note, as we look at the wind chills, again, I mentioned it was 31, feels like it's 25. So we've actually shaved 6 degrees off the feels-like temperature in this regard. 19 is the wind chill in Crossville, Fairfield Glade, and Lake Tansy. So we have some cold air, no doubt. And the wind speeds, as I said, doesn't take much. Many of you know, because we've been through this whole pattern of dripping faucets and all the rest, we know a little bit of wind can make it feel, perception-wise, a little bit colder. We have a 6-mile-an-hour wind in town. Winds in the Smokies are not much higher. But there could be a little gray area here or there where some patches of fog might be trying to form, or just poor visibility in some spots, but I don't think it's that bad. It's about 10 miles there on the screen. In Knoxville, that's the maximum, so we're not going to worry about that. Here are the flurries. Now, keep in mind, hold on to your hat. A lot of this is not reaching the ground. A lot of this is aloft. It shows like the radar is doing its job. Well, that's good, but it's not snowing in all these blue areas. It may be trying to snow. That I will grant you. It is trying to snow where you see blue, and that would be back toward Cookeville, moving toward Jamestown. And we'll look at the radar sweep here in a moment so we can see where maybe some of the darker blues are appearing. But there are just some signs of some snow aloft, maybe up toward Jellicoe. It might actually be trying to snow. Higher elevations are going to see that a little bit easier this morning. If you've got an observation, you've got a snowflake report, love to hear it. But we have some flurries in the forecast today, as we mentioned that yesterday morning as well, that we would have it here on Friday. Temperatures today, I did modify by 2 degrees. I think we could easily be in the upper 30s, low 40s today. About 38 for Morristown. We had some problems with the Morristown temperature apparently earlier, but 43 is where I expect to be in Athens today. So low 40s, certainly for the Southern Valley, low 30s for Oneida and Jamestown. So there's going to be some variability here, and where you might find most of these flurries persist throughout the afternoon might be north of Interstate 40. North of Interstate, it's not a hard and fast rule, but if you're in, say, Tellico Plains, you may have a lesser chance of seeing some flakes during the course of today. But, you know, there's nothing to stop them from moving in from west to east. We'll just keep an eye on that. If you've got a comment, share them with me. I'll see what I can do to put them on the screen. I have Steve and I have Fred on the call. It's 6:44. My goal is to be done here at the top of the hour at 7 a.m. Sunrise, sunset time on your screen. It comes up at 7:41. It'll go down at 5:55. And I chose deliberately, the stunned emoji today, because some of you that may not have paid much attention to the forecast, like, well, did you forecast this? I always get that response on Facebook. I go, yeah. Did you watch? No, I didn't watch, but I want to know, did you forecast this? Yeah, I'm forecasting flakes today. Some of you may see them, some of you may not. Will it amount to anything? No. Should it stop you from getting to the grocery store or the pharmacy today? No. Go ahead and go to do your errands today. Don't be bothered by a few isolated flakes flying through the air. Temperatures, I said, with a high around 40 A lot of this is just going to be nuisance flakes for some of you who are not fans of winter. Sunrise, we mentioned. Sunset, we mentioned. It comes up at 7:41, down at 5:55. We're adding about 95 seconds to the length of day now. Isn't that nice? But the sunrise, sunset time, only part of the story. How about the bus stop? Temperatures for drop-off, maybe in the low 30s for you in Knoxville, but could easily be in the upper 30s to around 40 between 2 and 3:30 this afternoon as kids start to celebrate their weekend at that particular time frame. Let's go back to the radar. Can we see the flakes? That's what steals this show. That has all the flair. That's all I want to talk about is the flakes. Let's look. I mean, can you see some blue? I see some blue in Greenville. I see some blue in La Follette. This is a 1-hour loop. Just keeps going around a loop in a 1-hour time frame. But you can see probably the best chance would be Cookeville. Over towards Sparta, where I see some darker shades of blue, that probably is going to be actually picked up by the radar. Keep in mind the reflectivity of these flakes are so small, they're so fine, they're so minute that they're harder to see in all cases. Where we can see the snow on the Nashville sweep is Tompkinsville, Cookeville, and yeah, Sparta's probably dealing with some light snow showers and flurries. And if you ask somebody who's there, they probably say, yeah, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. No big deal. That's the description of the flakes today. No big deal. You got a comment? Let me know. I'd love to say hi to you. It is now 6:46 in the morning here on the 24th of January. I got a note from Chad. Chad Kane says, Owensboro, Kentucky, 17 degrees. Real feel, 14. Thank you so much for that. And Felicia is on the call. She's in South Knoxville. She says, looking forward to warmer temperatures on my Saturday, my birthday. Happy birthday, Felicia. Felicia's got a big birthday tomorrow. A big happy birthday. I hope some people will leave you some comments on this very thread to wish you a happy birthday. Have a great weekend, Felicia. And I got a note from Brian. He's on YouTube. He says it's 20, Lake Tansy. And I think that's what he said. Yeah, 20 degrees. But anyway, it's cold, no doubt, but certainly the caliber of cold has been reduced a little bit. Of course, we were at 8, as I mentioned, and some closer to 0 at Oneida just a few mornings ago. Ultimate Doppler Radar, presented by your local Marco's Pizza, does not see or show much in the way of flakes, at least yet, but I imagine that'll change here in the coming hours today. The Ultimate Doppler Radar over the last 8 hours doesn't show much at all, but if you want to grab or make lunch plans, maybe the flakes are not your thing and you want to stay home, or you have to stay home because maybe you're working from the office, the home office. Marcos.com, a great website to go if you want to order some delivery. They're in Hardin Valley and Farragut. They're in Blount County and Maryville. They're in Fountain City. They're in Anderson County. They're in Oak Ridge, and you can also find other locations in places like Middlebrook Pike as well as Ebenezer Road. They do give back generously to East Tennessee Children's Hospital. Anytime you order a large one topping, a cheesy bread, and a cinnamon squares, they'll give 10% back to East Tennessee's Children's Hospital. Love that. And by the way, Magnifico for less than $10. That's the pepperoni pizza that you can acquire and obtain at any time that they're open. And of course, the Pizzoli for less than $6, I think is a great lunch idea. You can order it online, have it delivered. You can pick it up and they're off and running. Make sure you grab the dipping sauce. Usually the marinara is a popular one, but you might like ranch, maybe the garlic sauce, whatever you prefer. They're there to serve you. By the way, the radar shows those flakes in Nashville. There's not a whole lot going on west of Nashville. This is just like a little spoke of energy coming in and moving out, and that's about all we're going to see in this particular go-around. I know some people are waiting for when's the next big snow. That's one of the things we discuss at length, maybe ad nauseum, but certainly at length on the premium service on Facebook. Just hit the subscribe button if you want to join us. They're still dealing with wind chill concerns, with snowpack, snow cover. For what little snow that we might think we had, which is very little, they did get some sizable snows this week, as many of you know, in some and along the coastline and the beaches. They've got a snowpack, and so they're concerned about the cold wind chills. Frozen orange juice suddenly became snow-covered oranges. That's not a good sign for the Florida growers down there. It's been a tough winter so far. Looking northward toward the Dakotas, we have more snow, and we have some flakes in Pennsylvania, also New York State, and into parts of West Virginia. Want to say good morning to all of you. Thank you, Felicia, Chad, Wanda. I didn't say hi to Wanda. There's Wanda. Let's say hi to Wanda. She says 9 degrees, still cold. She said, I still got February. She's still got March to go. Everyone have a good weekend. Thank you very much, Wanda. Appreciate your help there. And we have that total strikes here. Sometimes that blocks the picture. or at least makes it a little muddier. But at least nationwide, there does not appear to be any thunderstorms at this particular time. Radar going into the rainfall. It's kind of interesting. Got some notes here. 2.09. Don't see a lot of rain going forward to the rest of the month. Let me repeat that. I don't see much in the way of rain. I mean, yeah, we got a few flakes. It's not going to measure into anything, but 2.09, that's less than half for the entire month. If we don't see anything measurable for the rest of the month, you can see where this is going. It's going into compounding the drought situation. I covered the drought at length last night's video, but yesterday's high was 41. The low was 14. We fell to 14 as late as 8:12 in the morning, based on records from McGee Tyson. Normal high is 48. Normal low is 30. So we were 41 and 14 yesterday. Record high today is 74 from 1950, back when Harry S. Truman was president, and -6, 1963. JFK was president back then. It's been a long time. But it is interesting. We're now like 1.5 inches below month to date, below normal. So we're about 1.5 inches below normal for the month and for the year, because it's the same month. For January, we could use some rain, and some of you will find that that's the news story that emerges. The weather story is, man, when are we going to get some rain? We haven't had much. Even with the melted snow, 4.9 inches, we're still at 2.09. So it's going to be an ongoing story, I think, down the road. January high temperatures, we're now at 19 days out of a possible, 23? Yeah, if you take through yesterday. That means 83% of the month of January has been below average in blue. Below average temperatures in blue represent 83% of the month. And it's been cold. You look back at Monday and Tuesday, we didn't get out of the low 20s. Temperature right now 31 in Knoxville, 25 in Nashville, and our friends in Johnson City are waking up to 23 degrees. That's pretty cold indeed. You throw in the wind chill, feels like it's 10 in Lexington, feels like 16 in Nashville, 25 I mentioned in Knoxville itself. I do want to get to the headlines, because this, I think, will summarize for all of us what are we talking about. Stray flakes are possible today. I didn't want to change or continue the word flurries, because everybody, in my experience, having lived in different parts of the country, the word flurry means different things to different people. Where I grew up, just south of Philadelphia, in Wilmington, Delaware, people thought flurries was the size of the flake. It's a flurry if it's a tiny flake, or a big flake. That's snow. But for others, when I go to Rochester, New York, if it doesn't stick, that's a flurry. You could have a snow squall, and they would still describe, did you get those flurries? Because they would say, how much did you have after it left? I didn't have anything after it left. Boy, it came down hard. They still called that flurries. Isn't that interesting? Different concept, different viewpoint, different definition of flakes. So let's just keep it stray flakes. Mostly clear, cold tonight. And oh yes, highs this weekend in the 40s. I think that's what Felicia, whose birthday is tomorrow, hint, hint, and oh, that's what she's looking forward to. But she may be thrilled if your birthday's next week. Anyone watching, you'll be in the mid-50s by Wednesday. I think it's going to be a little balmier, but it won't last. I do see February coming back with a lot of fun and expectations in the month of February. Winter is far from over. Temperatures, I can see, are 11 in St. Louis, 5 in Indianapolis, and we got 4 degrees in Caribou. There's the -6 in Madison, Wisconsin. That was our low temperature, and it is the low temperature, record low for Knoxville on this date from 1963. So we've been as cold as Madison, but you have to go back to the JFK era of 1963. Pretty amazing stuff, and places like Destin are still in the 20s. That's what a snowpack will do in parts of the Panhandle, Florida. I'm sure they're ready. They're ready to warm up in northern Florida. Let's be fair. I mean, this is not their cup of tea. -8 is the wind chill in Des Moines, and it feels like 11 in Detroit. It feels like -3 in Caribou. Now, is this cold Arctic air going to retreat? The answer is yes. We've already seen it pull away back toward Pittsburgh, back toward Boston, back toward Montreal, and you can see this represents tomorrow morning. So we will see this ebb and flow, meaning the cold air will come back, it'll reload, but the good news is, at least the short term, it'll take temperatures back in the 40s, as I mentioned, 50s. Wednesday, let's see if we can advance. You can see the warmer colors in green working its way into Knoxville right around Wednesday afternoon. Do you see the green in Knoxville? That's the warmer air that represents highs in the 50s. But you don't have to be an atmospheric scientist to see how cold it is in Minneapolis to the top of the screen. It's going to come back. So don't think like, ooh, can we go from 70s or 80s? No, we're not there yet. It's not spring. It's not summer. We still have a lot of winter left. So it's an artificially or maybe a temporary warm spell because the cold air will, in fact, come back. I got some other notes that are trickling in. Fred says, have a great weekend. Thank you, Fred. Enjoy the milder numbers, the milder temperatures. I got a Janet Potts say, happy birthday, Felicia. Thank you, Felicia. Appreciate Janet for your warm wishes for our friend Felicia. She says, good morning from Talbot. She's got 25 degrees. Have a great day, everyone. Happy to see you here. And Marilyn Bell's on YouTube. She wishes everybody a happy Friday and enjoy your weekend. All right, it is 6:55. My goal is to be done at the top of the hour. I'm going to fulfill that pledge here. Let's get to it. Our planner for today, if you're just joining us, what is normal? 48. 48 would be a typical January afternoon in this part of the world anyway. Clouds, hazy sun, stray flakes. We're going to be below that by the tune of about, say, 8 degrees. Normal high is 48. I'm expecting high in the upper 30s, maybe low 40s for the Southern Valley, but I put 40 around 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's not going to stick. In most cases, it's just going to be nuisance flakes. I did leave a 20% chance of rain on Monday. My inclination is to remove it because, as I said, this keeps pushing further south. Remember the snowmaker in Myrtle Beach and Baton Rouge? Yeah, that was like a southern slider. This is going to be another southern slider, but it's of the rain variety for our southern neighbors. So I don't think we're going to get much rain. That's why I think the main story that should be put into perspective is how dry it is. The drought monitor, which came out yesterday from NOAA, is on the free Captain Accurate Weather app. You could check it out, but that outlook is still persists with extreme conditions in places like Crossville and Wartburg. Some areas to the west in the plateau have had a real tough situation in terms of drought, and it does not look like it's going to get much better in the coming days. Storm Prediction Center doesn't show much now, but there is some coloring in time for the weekend for some of the states to our south. No coloring here, which means no severe weather, no general thunderstorms in light green. Things look quiet. Obviously, we're talking about some stray flakes. But where we see some thunderstorm potential, general variety, would be in the Houston, Texas area come Saturday. This comes by way of our friends at the Storm Prediction Center. They're also expanding that on Sunday to move into Louisiana and parts of southwest sections of Mississippi. So Houston, parts of Louisiana, Mississippi could get some thunderstorms on Sunday if you have some family that live down there. Here's your future cast for the next couple of hours. Clearly, it's not going to do much on the way of flakes. It may try and flare back up at midday. Midday may be the peak of this quote-unquote flurry event. We'll call it flurries or flakes, whatever you want to choose. But nobody's going to have to pull out a shovel. You can leave the shovel in the garage. There's no snow removal needed here. This is not one of those types of snow events. It's about 5 o'clock, it's all gone because skies will begin to clear. We'll be dropping down to around 20 degrees overnight tonight, but then back into the mid-40s on Saturday and mid to upper 40s, I think, for Sunday and certainly Monday. So those are the expectations short term. This is where things differ. There is a front coming in, but I think it's going to be moisture starved. So it's interesting to see how the models are duking this out. I think this is all bad data. I think this is all noise. I think it's going to be down, down, down further south. I don't think it's going to be a snow event. I think it's going to be raindrops further south. So all of this, I think, is just the warm front trying to work its way. If you looked at this and I try to sell you, this is such bad data. This is bad information. I'm telling you, don't pay attention to it. Somebody was asking me, are we getting what I saw on my future cast on my phone? If that's what you're seeing, I'm here to tell you, I'm not buying it. I'm just not. And I will update you if I have to eat crow on that. I'll stand by it later this afternoon or tonight. But either way, I don't think you should expect much precipitation in the long term of the rest of the month. 40 degrees, high temperature today. Clouds, hazy sun, stray flakes. Winds will pick up 5 to 15. It's now 6:59. I am going to finish on time. 38, high in Morristown, Hamlin County. 39 for Oak Ridge and Maynardville. I have us at 41, Alcoa, Maryville, and 34 for Lake Tansy, Fairfield, Glade. Today's high, if you're traveling, Atlanta 44, only 27 in Lexington in Fayette County, Kentucky. Tonight we are down to 20, I believe, mostly clear. Cold again, that'll occur first thing tomorrow morning if you're up early on a Saturday. Yes, it's Shiver Me Timbers in Morristown tomorrow morning, 17. 17 for Wartburg, 16 for Athens, and 20 for Maryville and Tellico Plains for low temperatures tonight. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee as we approach 7 a.m. 45 tomorrow sounds nice. 47 on Sunday sounds great. But I'll tell you what, 56 Wednesday sounds even better to those who are on Team Spring. How many are you on Team Spring? From a show of comments, you're like, oh, that's me. Or some of you might have been on Team Snow, and then you had 8 degrees a couple of mornings ago, and you switched teams. You defected. You said, I'm going back to Team Spring. I'm ready for spring. You get a little bit of a break. But please, psychologically, remember that February is going to be fun. Fun for Team Snow and Team Cold. That's what I think we're going to find. You're going to find intervals of both Team Spring, Team Snow type weather in February. But at least in the short term, I'm talking the next 7 days, we are going to have a gradual warming trend here. And the coldest morning on this map, on this projection, would be tonight, down to 20 to start the day on Saturday morning, by the way. If you have a comment, I'll check the comments here in just a moment. I got, Marilyn Bell. See, this shows you the enthusiasm. She put a 56 and a woohoo. I love that, Marilyn. Thank you for sharing that. And Yolanda, she says she's on Team Spring. She's ready for Team Spring. She's ready for the warmer air. And Yolanda, she represents, I think, a lot of folks who are excited about at least a little bit of a break. But I don't want to leave out Dawn Coleman because she represents Team Snow, and she's ready for the day ahead. I got Steve Stone wishing Felicia happy birthday, too. So very much. And friends, this is like, it's an interesting dynamic because I think once people get too much of one thing, they're ready to switch out and move on to the other. By the way, if you want to be on YouTube, it is absolutely free to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. YouTube's address on the screen, youtube.com/@CaptainAccurate. What's also free is the app that I keep referencing. The Captain Accurate Weather app with Pete Michaels Traffic, which is awesome because you get local traffic, local weather, all in the same app. All the National Weather Service alerts, plus 3 extras, plus lightning alerts, plus the drought monitor, plus power outages, which we just recently added, as well as the air quality alerts, which will be more applicable. It'll apply this summer when we have those ozone alerts or air quality alerts. They're also now equipped on the app. If you want to join us on premium, it's only $4.99 a month. What a deal. You're the first to see my snow forecast, and I don't mean flurries, but I mean down the road into February. We're already approaching the end of February. We're 30 days into the future. Most cases, as we look down the road for patterns and trends, I had a winter weather outlook, 15-minute video I posted on the 28th of October, and there's still some things that have yet to come to pass. So we'll have to wait and see. I'd love to have you join us on that side of Facebook. You're the first to see every forecast if you join us. It's very easy to do. Just hit the subscribe button at the top of my page. We focus on weather that goes beyond the next 7 days. We have more Facebook Lives for you. We do them typically Sunday night to help you plan for the week ahead, and you get fewer ads. If you're a premium member, we'd love to have you join us at any time, and you can sample us at any time. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. Have a safe weekend. Happy birthday, Felicia. We'll see you here next time. Take care.